The message arrived while I was standing in the grocery aisle, staring at two identical jars of pasta sauce and feeling nothing at all. Unknown number. One image. No text at first. Just a photograph that didn't belong in my life. Then the caption loaded beneath it, as if the phone itself hesitated before telling me, "Your wife's favorite food." The store around me kept breathing. Carts rolled. A child laughed. Someone coughed. My pulse didn't change. I studied the image like evidence. No shock, no rage. Just a slow, sinking recognition, as if a lock I'd never seen had quietly clicked open inside my chest. I didn't delete it. I didn't reply. I simply turned my phone face down and finished shopping. That was the moment everything stopped pretending. On the drive home, I replayed the last 6 months. Her sudden privacy, the way her phone never left her side. The new password, the gym she joined but never seemed sore from. The way she kissed me like she was checking off a task I had asked once, casually, carefully. She smiled too fast. That smile followed me home. When I unlocked the door, the house felt hollow. Not quiet, emptied. My shoes were gone. My jackets. The spare watch my father gave me. Even my toothbrush. She hadn't taken things. She had erased me. On the living room wall, centered where our wedding photo used to hang, was a printed copy of the image. Large, deliberate. Beneath it, taped with surgical precision, a sign written in bold marker. I hope it tasted good. I stood there for a long time, breathing in the absence of myself. Then I began to think. I didn't confront her. That would have been sloppy, emotional, loud. Instead, I became quiet. I forwarded the image to myself, saved it, logged the timestamp, pulled phone records from our shared plan. I learned patterns, frequencies, late-night calls masked as work contacts, a name that appeared too often to be coincidence. I watched her sleep beside me for weeks after that, counted her breaths, not with love but with calculation. She didn't notice the shift. Most people don't. They mistake silence for ignorance. I hired a private lab, paid cash, no names. I copied her laptop while she showered, cloned the drive, screenshots, messages, jokes about me, about my routines, about how easy it was. The man called me a placeholder. I felt nothing when I read that. By the time the evidence was complete, my heart had already packed its bags. The truth arrived in a plain envelope on a Tuesday. No drama, no apology. Just confirmation, black ink on white paper. I slid it across the table to her that night while she ate dinner. She laughed at first. Then she read. Her fork clattered. She looked up at me like she was seeing a ghost that had learned to speak. I didn't raise my voice. I asked one question, calm, surgical. How long were you planning to keep me alive in my own life? She cried, begged, said my name like it still belonged to her. It didn't. I moved out that night, quietly, cleanly. I left no forwarding address. What I left instead was waiting for her. She came home 2 days later. That's when she saw the bedroom. The wall was covered. Printed messages, dates, times, screenshots, his jokes, her replies. The image he sent me, framed now, labeled with metadata and timestamps. And beneath it all, centered on the bed we once shared, a single folder. Inside were divorce papers already filed, a restraining order against him, a civil complaint for harassment, and a USB drive containing everything, ready for her parents, her employer, his wife. She collapsed. I know because the neighbor told me later. Said she screamed like the room was closing in. I was already gone by then. I didn't block her number. I just never answered. Revenge doesn't need blood. It needs clarity. I walked away with nothing she could touch, and she was left surrounded by everything she thought she'd hidden. Some wounds don't bleed. They echo forever.